Hello guys, welcome to our channel. So this time we will be computing your principal or present value of compound interest. So we will be using this formula or equation in computing your principal or present value. We have P equals to F over the quantity of 1 plus R raised to M. Sorry, 1, the quantity of 1 plus R divided by M raised to MT. Okay, so in some books where they summarize this thing, R over M as J and MT as N. Okay, in some books they will be using this one, or in other books they are using different variables to denote your uh, this terms, to denote these terms. So we have P for your principal or present value, then F for your maturity or future value, then your R is the nominal or annual rate of interest. Again, in some cases or in some books, you will find R as I raised to M. Okay? To denote your annual or nominal rate of interest. M is the frequency of conversion per year. So I've discussed these things on the other videos. Then we have T is your term or time in years, or the duration of the investment of a loan or a loan in years. Okay, so going back to the original equation of this formula or equation. So it is from the formula of your future value F equals to P times the quantity of 1 plus R over M raised to MT. Okay? So from this one that we have computed on the other videos, we have your future value equals this principal times the quantity of 1 plus R raised to R over M raised to NT. Of course, this is an example of exponential equation, or it can be written in a function form. So it is an exponential function. Surely it is an example of exponential growth. Okay, so we have decay and growth in your exponential function. Again, on my other videos, I have an example of this things. Okay, so we will be deriving your this one using this, or to be simple, the formula of your principal is derived from the formula of your future or maturity value. So to isolate P on the other side, this P, okay? So we will isolate P just like this P, your principal. So we will be trying to eliminate or manipulate this quantity 1 plus R raised to M raised to MT. Okay, so it is very simple. So I will move P for you to see the process. Okay. So if you can see, we have P times the quantity. Okay. So in deriving and manipulating your equations, we will be using the reciprocal or the inverse of your operation in formulas. So when we are using multiplication in here, because P is multiplied to this quantity, we will do the inverse. So divided by 1 plus R over M. Okay? We will be dividing. Because we have divided this quantity on the other side, we will divide the same quantity to the other side of your equation to maintain balance, because the equal symbol means balance. Okay? So dividing this one, we have here your P equals, so dividing this quantity to the same quantity gives us 1. So most of us says that it is cancelled, or shall we say we understood it as deleted or cancelled, but it's not. This quantity divided by the same quantity is 1. Any quantity or number divided by itself or the same quantity gives us the quotient of 1. So 1 times P is still P. That is why we isolated P on the other side of your equation, and the other side will become F over 1 plus R raised to over M raised to MT. Okay? So if you cannot get that thing, it's just like Y equals P X, right? Just like this one. So to isolate P on the other side, let's divide both sides by X. So X divided by X is 1. Okay? So what's remaining is P. Then on the other side we have Y over X. Just like this one. But in this case we have X. On this case we have this quantity 1 plus R raised to M. R over M raised to MT. Okay? So that is the analogy. So I guess that you understand the concept. And writing it the proper way, we have P, this thing. By commutative property, we can disarrange the order. So the order will be disarranged, but the value is the same. So we have derived to P equals to F over the quantity of 1 plus R over M raised to MT. This thing. Okay? So now let us proceed to the application of this formula and terms to your problem solving. Okay, on the board we have here your situation. So find the present value of 50,000 due in 4 years if money is invested at 12% compounded semi-annually. So first, let us identify the given, then the required, then the solution of how we can solve the problem, and let's define the conclusion, or let's answer the question of the problem. So first, let us proceed to your given. So what are the given, or the data that is presented? So we have 50,000, and that will be your future value. So we have 50,000. Okay? Then we have here your 4 years. So that will be your time T or term. Okay? Then we have invested at 12%. So that will be your rate. Okay? And then we have compounded semi-annually. So that will be the value M. Semi-annually. So when we say semi, means half. Semi-annually, of course, we have 2. So every 6 months. So we have 2 in a year. Okay? So before that, let us convert your rate of 12% into decimal. So in converting this thing, 12 divided by 100 is 0.12. Again, in some books, They are denoting R as I raised to N. Okay, now let us proceed to the required or what is asked in the problem. So we have this thing, the present value. So the present value is your principal and it's denoted by P. Okay, so I will illustrate these things. Okay, so we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these numbers are the years or the duration of your investment. So after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years. So in 4 years, your money will become 50,000. Okay? Your money will become 50,000. Then, the question is, what is the amount of money from the starting point? Because at the end point or the end of the duration of your investment, you will have 50,000. So that will be your present value. So in your simple interest, because now we are on compound interest, your present value is known as your principal. So principal is still considered in your compound interest, but it has other name as present value because on your simple interest, your principal P remains as the principal on the whole duration of your loan. Okay? Example, you have 10,000. So it will remain as 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. And that is on the case of simple interest. Again, the principal will remain as it is in the case of your simple interest. But on the case of your compound interest, example, you have 10,000 in here as a starting amount. On the next P, the 10,000 will not be equal to this 10,000. It's either, so I will denote it as 10,000 plus. So it will increase each year, okay, until it arrives at 50,000. That is why it keeps on changing every year. So it is known as the present value. Okay? And we have this semi-annually. So each year is divided by 2 because we have twice every year. So every 1 year, you have a 12% rate of interest. Half a year, of course, you have to divide 12 by 2, so you have 6%, 6%, and so on. Okay? So that is the process behind. Okay, so let us go to your solution. So to compute for, again, this 50,000, and your P, and this is your F. So to compute for P as the starting amount of the investment, we have P is, again, let's follow F over 1 plus R raised to M. Rather, quantity of 1 plus R over M raised to M P. Okay? So let's remove this conclusion first. So we have P, substitute the given, F is 50,000. Okay? Then 1 plus R is 0.12. m is 2 raised to m, which is 2 again, times t, which is 4. Okay? So let's write here. We have p. So we have 50,000. Then we have 1 plus okay, I will summarize this 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay. On your calculators, you can encode or input this thing as it is how it is written. But if you don't have any scientific calculators and you will be using your calculators on your phone, so just put it on a landscape view and the scientific calculator will appear. But most of your phones will not give you this things, just like this fraction, or if you don't have any installed scientific calculators on your phone or a scientific calculator of your own, okay. Let's first input this on your scientific calculator if you have one. So it will give you the digits of 31,370.618,567. So again, we are speaking about money. So we will be rounding off your decimals into the nearest hundreds, or shall we say 2 decimal places. So we have 31,370.62. Or speaking about money, we have 31,370 pesos and 62 cents. Okay? So if you don't have any scientific calculators, you will be using the calculators of your phones. As long as your phone has the input of exponents, we can use the thing. So example, we will try to input this one on your calculators using your phone without a scientific calculator installed. Okay, the default calculator is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we will be following the PEMDAS, or in some cases they are using GEMDAS or this BODMAS or these things, but the concept are all the same. So the first letter, all of them are acronyms, and how we are arranging or following the order of operations for our equations, such this thing. So the first letters are all about grouping symbols. So this is parentheses, grouping symbols, brackets, order, exponents, then multiplication and division has the same weight. Of course, you can see MD, MD, DM, DM. So it's either you will operate first on division or multiplication, following the order from left to right. The same with addition and subtraction. Just follow the order from left to right. So what comes first must be the first. So example, the division comes first from left to right, so the division must be rated first. Okay? So let's go back to your problem. So we have this one. So using our calculators, you can input first this 0.12, then press divided by 2, then press equals, here. So it will give you a certain value plus, press plus, of course 1 and equals, of course it will give you another value. Then on your calculator you can press y raised to x if you have one, or in some calculators this symbol means it is a superscript or exponent. Okay? So it will give you the value of this denominator. Again, it will give you the value of your denominator. That is why we will press equals and press 1 over x on your calculator. You have there 1 over x. Again, put your calculator on a landscape view and you will see this 1 over x. And the value that you've computed will go down to your denominator. Just press 1 over x, press equals, and times 50,000, it will give you, and press equals and it will give you the same digits. Okay, so I guess that you followed the order. So you can try on yourself. And let us proceed to the second example. Or I will again illustrate these things. So we have f again of 50,000 and p. Previously p is unknown, so we have 31,370.62. Okay, so I guess that this is clear. For our next problem, we have Paul pays 102,355 pesos for the money he borrowed for 6 years at 12% interest rate, compounded monthly. So how much money did he borrow? So let us first identify your given. So we have this. Money he paid is your future value. That is 102,355. Then the duration is 6 years. Then your rate is 12%. So converting, we have 0.12. Then you have your this one M, frequency of conversion, compounded monthly. So monthly, each year, we have 12. Then your required is the amount of money he borrowed. So that is your principal or present value. Principal or present value denoted by capital P. And we have your solution using this formula P equals to F over 1 plus R over M raised to M T. Okay, so we have this formula. Then substituting to your formula, we have P. Our F from the given is 102,355. Then on your denominator, we have 1 plus R is 0.12 over M, which is 112, times the quantity M, 12, times T, which is 6. Okay, summarizing or continuing, we have 102,355. Below is 1 plus. You can divide it if you want, or shall we say write it as 0.12 over 12 raised to 12 times 6 is 72. Okay? Encode in your calculators. You can arrive at 50,000.016801. Or speaking about money, we have 50,000. Okay, for your conclusion. For your conclusion, you can say that Paul borrowed, how much did he borrow? We have 50,000 pesos. Okay, so that is your conclusion. So by illustration, we are asking for the amount of money he borrowed after paying 355. Sorry, after paying 102,355. So how much did he borrow? We have 50,000. Okay, so I guess that is clear and you have learned something from this video. Please subscribe and thank you so much for watching.